Hello, everybody. It's Andy once again. And what I'm here to do this time is I think I'm going to start a small series on not so much as breaking into voiceover, specifically audiobooks, but what you need to know. Things that you can watch them in a million videos, and I've seen some too. When it comes to being an audiobook narrator, which I am, and I have somewhat of a resume, nearly 400 books over 12 years, numerous award nominations from the, I guess, defunct, maybe it'll come back, the Independent Audiobook Awards, as well as the Society of Voice Arts and Sciences, the SOVAS Awards, 3 years in a row now. Last year it was a book. This year it's a promo demo. 2 years ago it was a political demo. So, yeah, I think I have some credibility. But what I want to do is just go right down to the basic level. I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups, the ACX Narrators group, other voiceover groups, and something that it bugs me. If you really want to get into this universe of voiceover, and it's a universe with many planets, actually many galaxies, and within those galaxies are planets, you need to do some research. You don't just jump on a board or a group and say, how do I get a job? Research it. There's so much out there. The Narrator's Roadmap, and I'll put a link up here, that's for audiobook narrators, of which I consider myself a professional at that. There's so much out there. And to ask a general question, how do I get into this? It's naive and it's kind of ignorant. I'm sorry. It is. Do some research. If you're serious about something, you do the research. When I began this journey 12 years ago, I did a ton of research. I didn't ask a bunch of questions without first researching them. There are search options in the groups you join. There are just plenty of videos on YouTube. But, YouTube is an amazing resource. I learned how to change a mirror in a Honda. I learned how to, what the hell else did I learn how to do? A bunch of other crap. It changed the drain in my kitchen sink before we got the new sink after the reno. Stuff like that, you got to do research. And if you're serious about something, you have to take it upon yourself to do it. What's required to be for example, an audiobook narrator? A lot of things. A good voice helps. It does. I don't care what anybody says. You have to have a voice that's pleasant. People aren't going to listen to fingers on the chalkboard, right? You got to have a pleasant voice, male or female, but it has to be pleasant. That's the first thing. But a pleasant voice alone is not enough, right? You have to know how to act. You have to be a voice actor. You're an actor. You have to feel what you're reading. Even if it's nonfiction, there's still feeling there. There's some great videos out there from people who are audiobook narrators who have been for many years, longer than me. Sean Allen Pratt has some good videos out there. They're excellent. They're almost like foundational. People answer them with a link to his video. They're somewhat dated, but they're still A-plus foundations. I mean, they just are. The tests he asks people to do, if they're interested in audiobooks, are valid still today. So I'm going to do what I think is a little series, starting with today's video, which is just an overview of what I want to do, and then go into maybe, 2, 3, 4 videos over the next few weeks starting with today being the general, what I'm talking about. If you want to do this, do some research. Take it upon yourself. Nothing wrong with asking questions, but before you take people's time, as well as your own, if you're serious, then do the research. It isn't hard. So, to give you a small background about me in terms of what my expertise is, if you will, and I don't know if I consider myself an expert. I consider myself well-versed. I've done over somewhere near 400 books as of today. There's a bunch in the queue from now until June. I have been nominated for several audiobook awards. I'm always the bride, always the bridesmaid and never the bride. Always the groomsman and never the groom. I haven't won any. But I've been up against the best. R.C. Bray, Simon Vance, stuff like that. It's fine. I'm just proud to be nominated. I work with Tantor Audio, Podium, Blue Nose Audio, Pink Flamingo, B Audio, Scribe Audio, whether it's for me, Andy, or as the romance guy. The romance guy seems to be doing very well, so I'm not going to look that gift horse in the mouth. Sometimes you step into things you don't realize you're going to step into when you start. So I have a resume that's, I think, solid enough that I have some credit, okay? I'm a pro at this. I know what I'm doing. I'm pretty good at it. I crank the books out. I have my own process. Nobody's process is better than anybody else's process. Whatever works for you, works for you. That's the first thing. But before we get into all that, this series is going to talk about equipment, what you need, what you don't need, microphones, audio interfaces, programs. And I'm just going to go over them generally. I'm not going to spend tons of time going into them. There are programs you can buy for that. I will talk about training. Who should you go to? Well, I'm not going to tell you who you should go to. I'm going to tell you who I went to. But I'm going to tell you what you should do. Again, research it yourself. If Earth is voiceover, right, then every continent or country is a genre of voiceover. Audiobooks, promo, commercial, medical, political, IVR, which is phone stuff, e-learning. Yes, is AI out there and taking some of that? Yeah, it is. Is it easy to break into this industry? No, it's not. Should you be a member of SAG-AFTRA, the union? It's up to you. I don't think it hurts. These are all the things I'll touch upon. But I think I have some room to speak. I'm not Mr. A-level top of the heap anybody. But I'm making good money working part-time at this now. And I will do it full-time later. So I have somewhere to speak because I know a lot of people would love to be where I'm at. And I would like to be where other people are at. But you need to understand what you're getting into. You need to understand that there's work involved. It's not overnight. I wouldn't call it a side hustle. What I do is, I don't consider it a side hustle. It's work. I kind of work 7 days a week. Whether if I'm at real job, the pension, retirement job that I've been at for 25 years, or this, I do it every day. The other job or this job, almost every single day. It takes planning. You have to know what you're doing. You have to manage your time, and you have to be reliable. If you're not reliable, you could be the best narrator in the universe. But if you're a flake with reliability, they'll go with the guy who's pretty good, but or the gal, and who's always on the money with deadlines and communication and all that stuff. Reliability is so important. Do not underestimate the value of being a reliable, hardworking person in any job, but especially in voiceover. Think about it. Would you want to waste your time with he's super talented, just amazing, he's just a flake with time, he never gets deadlines, Deadlines are important. They're there for a reason, right? Or the person who's like, yeah, they're pretty good. They're not as good as Joe, but my God, they're on time, they communicate, they never let us down. You go with this. You go with what works. You go with the person who's steady. So I'm going to cut this short right now because I have work to do. But I want to share what I've learned over the years, the 12 years that I've been in this, mainly audiobook, but voiceover too. And I do auditions. I have people who I get sent auditions. I try to do my best. I've got a lot of coaching. I'll drop names of coaches that you can look into. Quality coaching isn't cheap. It's not. It costs money. So this next little series is something for people who just need to kind of understand what they're getting into. And I hope I help at least one person, because like I said, it kind of makes me a little bit nuts when I see posts in a group where somebody joins and just says, how do I get a job? Well, didn't you do an ounce of research? When you ask a question like that, you're lazy. Sorry. You haven't done anything. You haven't tried. You haven't even looked. The answers are there. Do a teeny bit of research, and that will lead you to more. It's a rabbit hole. The internet's amazing. So, hopefully I can get something going, help people, and this is just a little bit of giving back. I'm not looking for business. I'm not a coach. I'm not going to be a coach in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to do audio analysis. I'm not going to do production, I don't think. I just do me. But I like to share what I've learned over a decade of hard work. But I think again, go to my website, www.andrewbwerlin.com. It's linked here on the YouTube page. Go look at it. talks about me. There's my promo demo, political demo, commercial demo, audiobooks. What other demos do I have? I think I got one more. Shame on me. Point is, go look. Could I use a better website? I think it's pretty decent. I may spend some money this year and have it done by professionals, because I want to break into other worlds of the voiceover planet. Not the site, but what I'm talking about. I'm fairly established in audiobooks. I got an offer today from Podium to do a series. I get those. I get them every few days, and it's great. I love it. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. But it took a decade to get here, and it took joining the union to get here. That's one question a lot of people ask. There's more to it than just that, and I'm not really I may mention it later, but part of being an audiobook narrator, eventually you're going to have to do jobs through a paymaster that gets you union eligibility, and then you're going to have to join SAG-AFTRA. It's kind of a cold hard fact. And then after that, there's options. Unless you only want to do audiobooks. But it's a sign that you've worked hard enough to get to a point where you're considered a professional. And I'm proud of my union membership. I've always been sort of a union guy, not politically, just work-wise. So I believe in unions for the most part. They have their good points and they have their bad. But in the audiobook world, not necessarily the entire voiceover universe, but in the audiobook world, being a SAG-AFTRA member is kind of a giant gateway into more work. Fact. So, hope you enjoyed this few minutes of me jabbering, and 15 minutes. God damn, I talk forever, don't I? Look for the next video. I think I'll talk about equipment in the next one. Something I'm well acquainted with. And we'll go from there. But I hope you enjoy it. We're going to call this series the Before You Ask series. Before You Ask. I just made it up. Why not? God bless you. Be safe. And stick to it. Because this ain't an easy gig. It ain't an easy profession. But if you stick to it and you really want to be a part of it, things will happen. It ain't overnight for everybody. It's not overnight for most anybody. So, passion, hard work, reliability. That's today's lesson. And if you keep to that, you'll probably do okay. Take care, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.